Okay, so it's Psychical and I guess BPZ Banshee. Is that how you pronounce your username?
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
about
Alright. So we're playing Raiden Fighters 2, and I guess I'm gonna go with the Raiden MK. Ironically, the reason I picked him was because I saw him in the intro video and his laser thing looked really cool, and I just kept using him ever since.
Yeah, it's certainly one of the prettier looking ships, if the least useful.
You think he's the least useful?
Well, in terms of scoring, it's certainly the least useful out of it, and for survival, that would be debatable. Certainly, it's not the easiest ship for a newcomer to use at all. It's
Okay.
your pro playing, you know. If you're not good at the game, it's not something that you go and use, you know.
Guess I'm probably not gonna do all that well, but
You don't learn to drive with a truck. You learn to drive with like a small car or something first, you know.
yeah, it makes sense. So, are you saying it can be really good, but just it's has a more difficult learning curve?
You can. I mean, there are videos that I've seen that exists of pretty world record tiers scores done with the ship, but it's very hard to do, and even then, it's not the amount of score you would have gotten with other ships with the same amount of effort. There's just so many things you can do with the ship that, you know, it makes it viable to use.
Okay, I just cleared the first level. So I only lost one life. That's a little better than I expected I'd do.
A little bit better than I expected too, considering most people lose all their lives.
Alright, so, you know, I played this game like a really long time ago at the arcades, but I haven't played it all that much since. Yes.
It's been a long time since I've seen it out in the original market myself too, so...
I don't really see, like, arcade machines as much anymore, I guess because, you know, gaming at home has gotten so advanced, it kind of makes the arcades obsolete.
Yeah, you can see a few articles from people that talk over as to exactly why, you know, the arcades went down, but generally it's console's fault. You know, why go out to the arcade to play a game when you can just, you know, run it on your NES or something?
Yeah, that makes sense. So, like, do you have a favorite ship in this game, or is there a most powerful ship?
Not really. The Judge Spear is generally pretty good, but you've got to... The problem with him is that it's too fast. Okay. Whereas the Raiden Mark II is the slowest ship, it's one of the faster... Not the fastest, but one of the faster ships in the game, and it becomes quite difficult to use.
This one is the Judge Spear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give them this one a shot. Here we go. Whoa, green stuff.
Yeah, napalm missiles.
Napalm, that's
the
what this
first
is.
game that they... Raiden Fighters runs on a certain set of hardware, right? And it's... almost like a console in the sense that you've got your main board and then you have like your motherboard and then you have what they call a daughter board. You know, mother and daughter sort of thing. Kind of like a giant glorified cartridge thing, and from sticking your game in through there you get your different choice of games, and that's how come you had to deal with the update timer, which we gloriously cut out, but probably really is the most boring part. There's nothing really to see there, but yeah, the main reason that happens is because when you first stick the cartridge per se into the motherboard, then it's got to go and install basically.
So it's kind of like installing a computer game even though you already got it downloaded.
Kind of, yeah. Of course, you know, being before the days of the internet and all that, but yeah, so the system itself, the Saibu SPI as it calls it, has been around for a while. This game was released in 1998, I believe.
Not long
1997.
ago.
The hardware itself was made in 96, and the game that they came out with that was actually called Viper Phase 1, which had this ship. That's where the Judge Spear is from. It's actually from a cameo in itself from this game, which has got a very space theme.
I kind of like how my little helpers here will actually like hone in and get right in the face of the enemies.
Certainly one of the handier formations. Once you get your two slaves and then you pick up another icon, you get one of a different range of different formations that it can do, like how they've just snapped to shooting freeway side by side just then. It's not randomized, there is actually a trick to it. It's based on the amount of bombs that you've got at the time. So if you were to say you collected another bomb now, or if you dropped a bomb, well, yeah, you just pick up a bomb, and then when another slave icon appears, you'll find that they do a different formation again.
Oh, I didn't know that. So is it like the more bombs you have, the better the formation is, or?
Not exactly. It's a weird formula. And it's just a little bit more maths than what I can remember how to do off the top of my head, so...
Okay.
Modulo 4 or something anyway, so...
So is it like one bomb equals one formation and two bombs equals a different formation, or is it like some strange formula that's going on?
Yeah, it's a bit of a formula. It also depends on bombs used, I believe, as well.
Oh, really?
So
Bombs used
yeah,
too.
so even if you go down, like you start off with 3 bombs and then you get 1 bomb and then you get another bomb, you use it, even though, you know, say you've both times when you've had the 1 bomb and you pick up a slave and you get a different formation each time, you won't get the same amount per the amount of bombs, as depend on bombs used as well,
So that's probably not something they actually intend you to know about. That's probably just they wanted to make it random, but they couldn't actually program in the randomness, so they...
Oh, they could do their randomness. I mean, yeah, as with the stage order is actually randomized unless you press one of the direction keys when you start the game, so... But it's definitely one of the more obtuse secrets. The game is very strong on secrets. You got to learn the game and know everything there is to know about it. It doesn't hold your hand in any department whatsoever.
Oh, crap. I think I almost got him. It looks like he's burning up. There we go. So I cheesed the boss by using like bomb and bomb over and over.
Yeah, I gotta admit I used to do that too sometimes when it gets pretty hectic.
Operation Hell Drive. Make the enemy forces and the establishment standing in our way powerless by lead-off attack. Target Sand Lobster. Good luck. You know, I never used to...
It was probably written better in Japanese, but you know how translations in the 90s were generally like.
You know, I never really paid much attention to those when I was a kid. It's kind of like a whole new aspect of the game for me. So it actually has a story going on. It's not... I'm not just shooting random ships.
Yeah, it's... with any arcade game, story is not really part of the gameplay, you know, it's not the most important thing. It's not like you're going to suffer at all from, you know, making an uninformed decision because you don't know the story plot or something like that, like you would with your RPGs, but...
Oh, I just blew up the whole plane. So it's kind of funny when they only show 3 propellers, just blowing up those 3 propellers blows up the whole plane, but when they have the whole plane on screen, then I gotta blow up every propeller that shows up on screen. I mean, I guess I wouldn't want planes that were impossible to blow up, but... I'm gonna use another continue. What is that, like my 3rd, 4th one?
I think it's your 3rd, yeah.
Okay.
Don't kill the fairy.
Okay, I didn't kill it. What happens now?
Oh, well, you're supposed to pick it up, but yeah,
Oh,
you get more points.
okay.
It's like 1,000,000 points or something for a fairy. If you kill it, you get 10 points.
Okay, so using my cheesy bomb over and over strategy.
One day you'll learn the patterns. Believe it or not, this game's actually the easiest in the series, so if you're ever going to learn the patterns, this game would be the one to start.
Okay. So the napalm is green. That's kind of. Is that what you're saying?
It's well, as I said, the ship was from a space game, so you know there was dark background, you know, mostly just your black space and stuff. You actually had different weapons you could pick. The napalm was just one option. I don't know. Noticed, I don't think it was actually in the menu at the time. I've got all the ships unlocked, which you don't. So.
Okay.
But yeah, there is actually a second variant of the Judge Spear in this game that's called the Blue Javelin. It's basically what the second player in Viper Phase 1 would have looked like if you'd, you know, joined as the second player instead of the first. And in this, he uses the missile type instead of the napalm. So you get these very widespread missiles that just go through quite a bit of the screen, but it takes a while to reload. So
wait, I lost track of all that. So are you saying like if I joined with the Judge Spear on a second player, I would get a different weapon?
now it's a different ship entirely in this, but in the original game where it was from, if you joined the second player, you would have gotten a blue ship instead.
Okay. So in the first game, it's just a different color ship, but in this game, it's an entirely different ship.
Yeah.
Okay. So does do other ships do that, or is that just exclusive to this ship?
Yeah, there's one other type, which is the ship that you used before, the Raiden Mark II. It has a variant called the Raiden Mark II Beta, which instead of having the homing missiles and, you know, curly purple beam, it's got a very mundane, straightforward nuclear missiles and a spread shot.
So are the nuclear missiles, those are like its bombs?
No, it's just its secondary weapon. They're called nuclear missiles. They don't really, they're powerful, but they only go straight forward, and they're not exciting in appearance in any way.
So are they still? Is the Judge Spear still better, or like in terms
Depends
of
on
combat?
how you use it.
Okay.
The ship is faster than the Raiden Mark II, the Mark II Beta, but it's not as fast as the Judge Spear.
Okay.
I do know quite a few, some of the high level players. I know one, the developer of Raiden Fighters, which you're familiar with, a tribute game based on this series. It was actually him who did the world record tier replays using the Raiden Mark II, and a friend of his actually uses the Mark II Beta, and they get pretty similar scores between each other. So it's certainly the capacity to have a good run with it is there. It's not one I would recommend to newcomers though.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's kind of like the Raiden. It can be really, so it can be even better than the original Raiden if you know how to use it correctly. But
Yeah,
if you don't, then it's not going to work too well. So
in a nutshell, yeah.
okay. Is there any other ship you would recommend I use?
The Helldiver would probably be a good start.
Which one was that again?
The memory serves it
What's it look like?
is that one.
This
Just before the right, yeah, that one.
that kind of looks like green and camo.
Nah, no, not that one.
Not too bad. I guess I got stuck with it.
Yeah.
Well, it just looked like a. This is pretty awesome. It's like lightsaber stuff going off. Or it's like it's got. I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's like it's It releases these
Yeah,
shells, and the
little
shells zoom
option
in.
pods that shoot lasers from them. Yeah, if you actually hold down the fire button, I believe it's got a charge shot of sorts.
Oh wow, that's awesome. If I can live long enough to use it.
Yeah. It's usually, it's a bit hit and miss as to, you know, the right time to sort of use it. Usually I find that doing a charge shot, there's not really a lot of difference between not shooting and then doing a charge shot versus just constantly shooting.
Man, these enemies have a ton of endurance. I've used like bomb after bomb, and it's what's sneaking in behind me is really what's giving me the problem, because like when they're in front of me, I feel more.
Well, you are on the second
last
stage of the game.
I didn't know it was that far.
After this, there's one more level, and that's it. And because you're running the American version, you'll get put back to a very hard version of stage 1 all over again.
Okay. It's just what I need, more difficulty.
Yeah, well, I told you should have run the original Japanese version, but yeah.
So it's easier? Or?
Sort of. Like with the Japanese version, you beat the game, that's it. You know, there's no suicide bullets or any other bullshit that the American version brings in for the second loop, but
I could just
it might be a little bit harder.
I could just quit after the second loop, I mean.
Yeah, true,
hey,
but
you know, I remember this boss pretty well. It's I remember those little circular things. Let's see. So was it this one here, the kind of reddish one? Is that the one you're suggesting before?
No. We go right.
This one, the gray? Okay.
Yeah, with the wide back rings.
Oh, that's kind of nice. They really got
Got a nice speed, but not too ridiculously so.
They've got like some really unique firing here. Like it's really over the top. It's really crazy in terms of how they do the firing animations.
Certainly one of the more detailed games done in the 90s.
Ah, geez, I'm like dying like crazy on this. So there you go. That's my strategy. Die a lot and then get revived and use continues and then use bombs and then.
Yeah, let's see. How many continues you use now? You would have used about $5 in the arcades.
Break into the enemy control and establish and just break into. Damn it.
You probably failed the requirements because you died so many times, but there is actually a true final boss in this game. He is nasty. The game is easy, but he is nasty. It makes up for it.
I actually beat this game in the arcades before, but I probably didn't get to that final boss you're talking about. Maybe it's a good thing, because I probably would have blown up even more money than I already did just getting to the original final boss.
Yeah, memory serves, in this it's kind of like an octagonal base center thing. That's the final boss. And then after, you know, when you blow that up, if you fulfill the requirements, then it just starts scrolling upwards, and you got to take on this huge airship thing that's actually got a bit of a face in front of it, actually.
I remember,
red eye.
like, there was some really big black ship. That was the boss that I faced. Do you remember if that was the optional one or the mandatory one?
Not the one that we versed in the plane stage?
No, a different one.
Okay, that might have actually been it then.
I'm probably not giving that good of a description of it, so it might be difficult for you to know. I just remember it was like this really big black ship that took a lot of hits to kill.
Was it in this game or in Xeno Fighters?
I think it was this game, but I'm not entirely sure. Like it's been so long I can barely remember, but I remember that last boss that I just did, so I'm pretty sure it's the same game. Like
I
they
guess
don't
we'll find out
repeat
soon enough.
bosses, do they?
No.
Like across different games.
The only case where they really did that is Raiden Fighters Jet, which I don't think you've played.
Okay. So is this the optional boss you're talking about? Like if I did badly, this is the last boss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, since you suck, this should literally be it.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, no, I don't really. Not the most polite speaker in the world, but.
Yeah, don't blame me. I use like 100 continues now. Okay, so is that I finished the game?
Wait for it. Nope, it's taking you to TLB.
Oh, that's so do I have to do even worse to not get to the final boss?
Must be something like that. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the requirements are, and I don't think anyone's really bothered to find out. But yeah, good luck versing Red Eye.
Well, I got a lot of missiles. Maybe that'll give me an edge. It'd be nice if I could get like 2 hits before I lose all my... Oh, yeah, this was the big black one I was talking about. Yeah. This is it. Oh, crap. Jesus. Like, if I was in the arcades, I probably would have blown through like $10 or $20 by now.
Yeah, at least $10. Then some guy would have been like, "Oh, you could, buy a, big Happy Meal from KFC or something like that. Whatever you guys have got over there."
Like, I'm not even lasting like 2 seconds before he just blows me up. I don't know how to dodge these. Okay.
Well, the game is throwing the kitchen sink.
Come on. This is nuts.
You can see why it's called Red Eye, eh?
Yeah.
You actually look at the front of it, it's actually literally got a red eye on it.
So there you go, that's my strategy to win, use up lots and lots of quarters. Better get out a bank loan or something, get as many quarters as you can, and then you have the secret to beating any arcade game. Okay, so this is the even harder difficulty you're talking about.
Yeah.
Number 1.
If memory serves, it's basically just they add suicide bullets to everything.
So suicide bullets are those like enemies that try to ram into you?
No, it's when the enemy dies, it spits bullets that are aimed at you. You notice how as you kill everything, a bullet comes out?
Oh, I see, like that.
Set of bullet comes out, yeah.
That's awful.